Harrogate Town are one of the worst rated teams in FC24 in League 2, so let's give them a rebuild and let's take them to top of English and European football. And this is the team we have without doing anything, but we just have to take a quick look at our budget and we can see we have a total of 1 million in the bank, 1.1 million. And when we take a look at the player's contract, we can see that most of it, if not everything, will go to negotiate a new contract with the players. Almost everyone are running out in 11 months, and I also have to sign some coaches, so don't know if I will have enough money to sign anyone in the first season, although I hope I can at least sign someone, as we are of course going to look to sell some players as well. And this is how our current team is looking. We are going to sign a few players at least, and we can see that the center backs are looking alright compared to the rest of the team, the same with the CDMs. However, left mid, right mid are on the weaker side. Right back and left back are not ideal either. Or we got Folds here, who is alright. So we are at least looking for one, if not two wingers, and maybe some attack strikers as well as a right back. And if we have money, a new goalkeeper as well, but I doubt we will have that much money for a lot of players, so we just got to see. But yeah, we will need to bring in some signings. We will use the 4-4-2 with two defensive midfielders. Our first signing, it is a left midfielder. Vincent Harper has joined us for 720k from Exeter City. And the players we've sold are Sutton, Falkingham, Thompson, Daly and Dooley. So we sold 5 players. I had some more on the transfer list, however no one has wanted them, so it's time to just bring in a couple of signings to improve our starting 11. We also brought in a new striker. It is Mikaelsson, who has joined us from Viking for 690k. And unless we get any more sales, this will be our last signing. It is Shaden Morris from Aberdeen for 500k. And next season we see we will lose a lot of players. We will lose Mulden, who will retire. Burrell, I also do believe, will retire. Yes, both will. As we can see here, he will retire, and Mulden will also retire at the end of the season. Solomon will return back to loan to Huddersfield. Bilongo will go back to Bristol Rovers. Oxley, I am not going to give him a new contract because he's 33 and a backup goalkeeper, and we've seen from previous rebuilds that is worth just having one goalkeeper, so he gets all the game time. And Sanderson will go back to Fulham, and Moon will go back to Burton Albion. So we will lose a lot of players in the summer, but we didn't manage to sell anyone else apart from the players I showed earlier, so our squad will be the same as it currently is right here. We've signed, of course, Mikaelsson, 20 years old, 62 rated. Also Harper has gone into the squad, 64 rated, 23 years old. And the third and final signing was, of course, Morris, 22 years old, 63 rated. I have no idea what to expect from the first season. I think we will finish very far down the table, but it would be nice if we could somehow push for a playoff position. However, I do not expect that at all. And season number 1 is done, and we have finished in 12th place, which is actually pretty solid, scoring 75 goals, which is that the most? We scored the most in the league, but conceded 73, which was also the most in the league. So a proper League 2 finish, or a League 2 season by Harrogate Town, finishing 12th. The FA Cup was won by Newcastle, the Carabao Cup was won by Liverpool, the Bristol Street Motors Cup won by Barnsley, and League 2 playoff is not done yet, and the Champions League was won by Juventus, beating Liverpool. So have we had some growth in the team, and we have probably seen some players getting recalled as well from loan. Mikaelsson up to 64, he has gone up 2 ratings, Harper has gone up just 1, and Morris has gone up 1, so not a lot of growth in the team so far. And Mulden, who is retiring, who is gone down 4 ratings, has scored 23 goals, getting 11 assists, a good season by him. March has scored 16, getting 2. Mikaelsson scoring 11 in 23 games, Taylor scoring 9 goals, Morris 7, and Fox and the other Morris have scored 6 as well. So yeah, let's go into season number 2. And our budget for season number 2 is 1.5 million, so not a lot of money. And how few players do we have left in the squad? We have a total of 19 players in the squad, which is very thin. And since we have such a thin squad, I will see if there are any free agents that can join us. And I'm not going to just find any good free agents. It will be kind of like in the same rating as the squad and potential signing. So I won't like bring in any 70 plus rated free agents, of course, as of now, because we aren't in that position to do so. And our first signing, it is right back Akin Odimayo from Free Agents FC. So he was of course free. So welcome to our new right back. We also found a striker who were a free agent, and it is Stephen Humphries, who is 68 rated, I do believe it was. And free agent signing number 3, it is centre back Tyler Magloire. And we are thankfully getting some sales done as well, because we need to sign a new goalkeeper and we have 0 money left despite having just signed free agents. So we signed Tom Hill. Sold Tom Hill to Colchester. And another sale is being done. It is James Belshaw, who has gone to Bristol Rovers for 330k. And also Tom Kersons has gone to Bromley FC for 260k. And we are now without a goalkeeper in the squad, so let's bring one in. And a free agent goalkeeper we have brought in, it is Jakob Karlström. And our last signing of the second season here at Harrogate Town, it is Daniel Kelly, and we just needed some more depth, so he's just like really low rated, like 59 rated or something like that. So this is how the team is looking going into season number 2, and it's a huge upgrade on the squad we had earlier. Jakob Karlström, of course, one of the free agents we signed, 28 years old, 68 rated. Odimayo, 25 years old, 66 rated. Magloire, however you say his name, 26 years old, 64 rated, and he's got 90 pace. Wow. And we also signed Humphries, of course, 27 years old, 68 rated, and also, where is he? Kelly here on the bench, 59 rated, 29 years old. So it's a short-term thinking transfer window, is just bringing older, higher rated players in. However, when we finally start to go up the divisions, I hope to bring in some younger, more exciting players. Season number 2 is done at Harrogate Town, and we have got ourselves promoted from League 2 to League 1. We got 81 points, and I didn't expect us to have this good of a season. I was hoping for a promotion playoff. However, we have gone straight up, with the FA Cup being won by Man United, Carabao Cup won by Chelsea beating Derby, and the Bristol Street Motors Trophy won by Doncaster Rovers. But we have got ourselves promoted from League 2 up to League 1, which is just absolutely fantastic. So our tactic with signing higher rated free agents has absolutely worked. We can see Harper has gone up a few ratings, which is great to see. Mikaelsson as well, Humphries up to 70, so we also had some decent growth in the team. And Humphries has scored 26 goals, getting 6 assists. March has scored 17 goals. Mikaelsson hasn't played that much, but he is going up in ratings. He has scored 10 goals, getting 3 assists. Taylor with 9 goals. Morris 6 goals. Fox 5 goals, 14 assists. And what about Harper? 2 goals and 3 assists, but he has still gone up 3 ratings. And with the promotion to League 1, how much money have we got in the bank? We have got 3 million, it says, but it is 2.7. So let's see if we can sign some players who for once can actually stay here for the long term. Our first signing, it is young centre back George Nevet. We have included O'Connor in the deal plus 850,000 euros. And our second and potentially last signing in this summer transfer window, it is Maxi Oyedele from Legia Warszawa in a deal including Morris and 1.2 million. And this is the team going into season number 3. And we've only signed Nevet, the 20-year-old 64 rated centre back, and Oyedele, the 21-year-old 67 rated defensive midfielder. The rest of the team stays as it is. And I am looking for them to grow a little bit, and then we can sell a couple of the older players in the next transfer window, such as Humphries, who's come in and done a good job. Hopefully he can go up to maybe 72, 73, so we get a lot of money for him. Odimayo as well isn't really growing, same with basically everyone in the team apart from Harper and Mikaelsson. And Karlström really are not growing that much, so we will look to of course sell them in order to get some more money. But the first, let's simulate season number 3. Hopefully we can finish at a solid, maybe mid-table, maybe push up the playoff position. The first season in League 1 is done, and we have finished at an 18th place, which is, yeah, not good, but at least we are staying in the division, which was of course the main aim. However, I was hoping we could maybe challenge for a playoff spot, but looking at some of the teams that are in this division, such as Reading, Stoke, Plymouth, Barnsley are here, Derby are here as well, Wrexham of course, so yeah, I mean, a lot of difficult teams, but we hopefully have seen some growth in the team. Or have we just stayed at basically the same rating? Humphries 71, Mikaelsson up to 70, which is great. Oyedele has gone up to 70, Nevet up to 68, Karlström 71. So a couple of players who has grown well. But apart from that, we need to upgrade the squad if we want to reach the championship. And Humphries is our top scorer once again. And Mikaelsson once again not getting a lot of game time. Josh March is getting his game time instead. I'm not a fan of that. Why is my 63 rated 30-year-old striker starting instead of a 70 rated 23-year-old? I don't know. But Humphries keep on scoring. Also getting 5 assists. March 10. Taylor getting 8 goals. Fox getting 7. Mikaelsson 6. Harper scoring 3. And what about Oyedele? He got 2 goals and 6 assists. So let's go into season number 4 and see if we can sell some of our more valuable players, such as Humphries, for example. Maybe even look to sell, maybe. I'm unsure. We will see. And we can see that Chelsea won the FA Cup. The Carabao Cup was won by Man United, and Bristol Street Motors Cup was won by Stoke City. And Champions League was won by Borussia Dortmund. And we just got 2 million, or to be exact 1.7 million in the budget, so we need to sell some of our more valuable players, and I think Humphries will be at least one of the players that will be sold because he is at the age of 29. Maybe I will look to sell Fox as well because he's also 29. We will see if I get any other offers as well. And we are once again going to sign some free agent. The first one is Paris Magoma. The second free agent signing, it is goalkeeper Josh Griffiths. And free agent signing number 3, it is striker Joe Hugill. Free agent signing number 4 is just to add depth, so he won't necessarily be a starter. It is another DM, it is Osama Ashley. We've had some sales. We've sold Dean Cornelius to Annecy for 610k. Daniel Kelly has left us for Bradford City for 200k. Humphries has also left us and he has gone to Real Oviedo for 2.5 million. And Jakob Karlström has left us to Basel for 1.3 million. So we now got a little bit of money to buy some players with, or buy at least one player. And our new center back, it is the first permanent or signing for money this transfer window. It is Iben Rowett from Portsmouth for 2.6 million. And our final signing in this transfer window, it is left back Clinton Mola from Bristol Rovers for 1.1 million. So this is how the team is looking going into the next season. I will just put our better players on the bench here. But as you can see, Griffiths, 25 years old, 70 rated. Boat, 24 years old, 72 rated. Mola, 26 years old, 70 rated. And Magoma here, 26 years old, 73 rated. And also Hugill, who is on 23 years old, 69 rated. And I do think we are starting to get a decent League 1 team. And I would not be surprised if we finish close, or if not in the promotion spots. But then we need to deliver because our attack are in the weaker side with 66, 69, 70 and 69 rating. So we need to see Mikaelsson first and foremost getting game time this season. Season number 2 in League 1 is done and we have actually not improved at all. We are now down to 19th place. So yeah, that is not ideal. Crystal Palace won the FA Cup, Aston Villa beating Man City in the League Cup, and Bristol Street Motors Cup. We came to the final, but lost to Portsmouth. So yeah, disappointing league. Just we got the same amount of points as Chesterfield, who got relegated. But it's so tight in the League 1 and Championship and League 2, so we aren't really that far away from a playoff position. 19 points, although it is a lot in one way. However, just a couple of more victories and we would have been top half. So I'm sure if we can improve the squad a little bit next season, we can fight for promotion. And some of the players have grown well in terms of Griffiths, who has gone up to 73, Boat has gone up to 75, and Magoma up to 74. Apart from that, we have still some very weak parts in the team. So I think the priority needs to be to improve our wingers and right back. And Hugill was our top goal scorer, scoring 18 goals. Morris scored 14 and Mikaelsson scored just 10 goals. Despite his 71 rating, I think I may look to sell him as well, because he just are not delivering any good numbers at all. And Josh March, yeah mate, you're just stealing game time from everyone despite being 64 rated. And I am accepting this offer on Josh Marsh, so he will be gone once the season ends. And here is the confirmation that Josh Marsh has left to Eldense for 520k. And the board have given us just 2.4 million euros to buy players with, so we need to sell in order to buy once again, which is expected considering we are just in League 1. And we are just continuing the tactic to find some good free agent to sign, and we signed Andres Ferrari to Harrogate Town, and he is a striker. Free agent signing number 2 is Skelly Alvaro, and the next free agent signing is a left winger, Petter Dahl. And we also found a new left back, Xavier Plesuego or something like that. He has been at the Arsenal Academy before, if I remember correctly. It's also time to sell some players. We have sold James Morby to Morecambe. And we have also made even more sales. We have sold Duke McKenna to Portsmouth for 1.3 million. Paris Magoma has gone to Holstein Kiel for 5.25 million. Odimayo has gone to Modena for 1.25 million. And our last sale, it is none other than Mr. Matty Foltz, who has gone to Malaga for 950k. And we brought in a new right midfielder. It is former Manchester United player Omari Forson from Monza for 5 million euros. And we've also brought in a new right back, and it is James Dornelli from Bodrum for 2 million. And this is how the team is looking going into, is it season number 6, and it's starting to look like a good enough team to get promoted to the championship. I will be disappointing if we at least don't finish top 8. We got 70 plus rated all players all over the pitch, and now we can't even blame the attack in terms of ratings, with Ferrari coming in. Forson as well, 74 rated. Ferrari was 76. Dahl is 72. He will probably not play because he's a left winger, and it takes 80 weeks or something like that for him to be a left mid. So it may be that we need to sell him next year without him even playing for us. We also signed Plegueselo and also Dornelles and Alvaro as well, I do believe. This was this window. So we signed a lot of signings. Let's see if we finally can get promoted to the championship. And that is another season done, and we have lost in the playoffs. We were getting close to finally getting promoted to championship, but it's another season in League 1. And yeah, I did not expect us to be this long in League 1. However, we finally are climbing up the table at least. So we finished 6th, losing in the playoffs final or semi-finals to Plymouth, who will probably beat Huddersfield as well. And FA Cup was won by City, Carabao Cup won by Newcastle, and I saw when I was simulating that we won the Bristol Streets Motors Trophy, so at least we won some silverware, and Champions League was won by Juventus. So we have finally won something at least, and we are at least getting a better team as we finished 6th, and we have seen some not really ideal growing either. I expected Ferrari to grow something. And yeah, Boat is up to 76. Forson has gone up 2 ratings, which is good. So yeah, the team aren't growing at the pace I was hoping for either. Forson was our top scorer, scoring 17 goals. Ferrari scored 15. Hugill scored 13. And Mikaelsson scored 12. With Alvaro 9 and Petter Dahl scoring 6. And can he be developed into a left mid? Not yet. 24 weeks still to go. And we got just 3 million, so it's another season of free agents and potentially selling some of our key players in order to improve the squad as a whole. And I think it's the 3rd season in a row. However, we are signing another left back who is a free agent, and it is Mathias Løvik. And free agent signing number 2, it is Olagbe, who is a left midfielder. And Mustafa Cisse is the 3rd and final free agent signing, and he could as well be the last signing we make this window, and I think I actually have decided that now he is going to be the last signing we have made this transfer window. So this is how the team is looking now, and surely this team can get promoted to the championship. If not, then I think we will be stuck here forever, but we have to go through now and get promoted to the championship. Come on, boys. And season number 6 sees us finally promoted to the championship in the League 1. We finished 3rd place, the same amount of points as Reading. However, we had to play the League 1 playoffs, which we thankfully beat Bolton 2-0 on aggregate and then won against Stoke City on penalties 5-4. So it couldn't be any more dramatic. The FA Cup was won by Arsenal. The Carabao Cup was also won by Arsenal, and the Bristol Streets Motor or whatever trophy was won by Reading. And the Champions League was won by Bayer Leverkusen. And how is our team looking? We remember we signed a lot of free agents lately, and they should be decent rating. And yeah, everyone are over 75 apart from Nevet. So yeah, and also Oyedele, to be fair, he's 74. But yeah, the squad is looking really good in terms of a League 1 team. However, I am probably looking to sell a couple of them in order to buy some players I actually want to have in the squad. And Ferrari was our top scorer, scoring 20 goals. Hugil scored 13. Cisse scored 12. And Olagbe scored 11, getting 11 assists as well. Forsen 8 and 9. And yeah, that's really it. Let's move into the first season in Championship, and hopefully we can have a good season there as well, at least not get relegated. And our budget is a total of 6 million euros, which is not ideal. So I do think we are going to look to sell a couple of players in order to get someone who can stay here for the long term. But yeah, we need to upgrade because I do think a lot of these players have really reached their potential. Let's see if I can find some younger, more talented players. However, I don't want to sign any new gens this save. However, it may be required if we go towards season 10 and so on. But the plan is to not sign any of them. So let's see if we can find some interesting players on the market. And we are looking to sell 4 players this transfer window. And the first one is Petterdal, who has gone to Rangers for 5 million. Sale number 2, it is Clinton Mola, who has gone to Silkeborg for 1.7 million. Alvaro has gone to Lazio for 14.25 million. And Joe Hugil has gone to Real Zaragoza for 5.8 million. So now let's find a couple of players we can sign. Our new central defensive midfielder, it is Freddie Potts, who has joined us from West Ham for 17.75 million. And our only signing was just Potts this transfer window. I had to give a lot of players new deals because they had 11 months left. So a lot of the transfer budget went to that as well. So our only new signing is Potts. 26 years old, 80 rated, and he has 80 potential, so he has reached it, but hopefully he can have a decent season and get the dynamic potential going. Apart from that, the squad is looking kinda meh. We have some decent players such as Forsen, Ferraris up to 77, Boat, but then we have Nevet 72, Dornley who has reached his potential, Oyedale is just 74, so a lot of players have reached their potential. So hopefully we can have another good season and to see some dynamic growth once again. I don't know where we hope to finish in the championship, hopefully around the mid-table, maybe even fight for a playoff position. However, I am unsure. I wouldn't be surprised if we get relegated either. And the first season in the championship has ended with us finishing in 10th place, which is pretty solid. We are far away from the relegation zone and also a bit away from the playoff. However, a solid first start in the championship with Southampton winning the title with 114 points. Leeds won the FA Cup, Liverpool winning the Carabao Cup, and championship playoffs, Middlesbrough won that against Luton, and the Champions League was won by Man City beating Tottenham. And yeah, 10th place is pretty solid. Yes, when you look at our squad, we could maybe say we have the squad to fight for something more, but I mean, we are like 7-8 seasons into the future. We have a pretty weak defense in terms of centre back and right back, and we haven't had some decent growth either, apart from Ferrari up to 79, and Griffiths has gone up 2 ratings as well. Apart from that, Olagbe has maybe gone up 2, Forsen maybe 1, but yeah, it looks like the team has reached its potential. But it's so difficult because we aren't getting any money in either, and it is difficult to replace them with some higher, more potential players. And Ferrari was our top scorer with scoring just 15 goals, which is not ideal. Cisse also scored 15, Forsen scoring 13, just getting 1 assist. Olagbe 12 goals and 10 assists. Mikaelsson scoring 7, and Fox 68 rated DM, who will retire at the end of the season, has scored 5 goals, getting 4 assists, and Potts, our new signing, getting 7 assists. As we have 0 money, basically, once again, we signed another free agent. This time it is Fode Silla, and I am going to develop him into a center back. And we brought in another midfielder, however, he is going to stay in the midfield, and that is Sidney Tavares. And we have also made a sale, and that is Tyler Maguire, who has gone to LAFC for 910k. And this is how the team is looking into our second season in the championship, and it's starting to look a little bit better due to the growth of our attackers such as Cisse, Ferrari, Forsen. Potts is now up to 81 as well. Our defense is Løvik 78, Boat 77, Griffiths 78. However, Silla, our new center back, is 75 rated, 25 years old, and Dornley is staying at the 25 years. Not 25, yeah, he is 26 years old, but he is staying at the 75 rated for like the 3rd season or something right now, so hopefully we see some growth for him, or unless we have to try and upgrade on him, but we aren't getting any money, so it is difficult. And we also signed Tavares, 29 years old, just to get some better depth in the team. Hopefully we can maybe fight for a playoff promotion or a playoff spot this season. And as we can see in the second season in the championship, we have got promoted via the playoffs, beating Watford, it seems like 3-2. Yeah, we finished 6th position, which meant we had to face on Burnley, who we actually managed to beat. That is the Ron Cup Championship playoff. We won 3-2 against Burnley and then won 3-2 against Watford. So we are now finally in the Premier League, and who won the championship? It was Everton, who has managed to get 112 points. Fair enough. The FA Cup was won by Chelsea, the League Cup was won by Man City, and the Champions League was won by Inter Milan. And how is our squad looking? Have we had some growth, or have they stayed at the same ratings? Griffiths up 1, Boat, Silla, Dornley, Løvik all up 1. Same for Oyedele and Potts, I do believe. Forsen has stayed at his rating, Ferrari 80, Cisse 78, Olagbe up to 80, so there are some players who are still growing, thankfully. However, most of them are stuck at the same rating, so we need to hope they have got some dynamic potential, or else we need to probably replace almost every single one in the team. But let's see if you can get some good Premier League money first. And the Premier League money are the most money by far we had. The most we had before the season was 7 million. Now we got 35 million euros. So we finally can start to sign some decent players. And if we sell someone in the starting 11 as well, I do think we can bring in 1 to 2 big improvements. We are starting the season off by getting 3 free agents in. The first one is Luka Jackes, who is a centre back. The second free agent signing is Lewis Dobbin, who will just be some added depth on the left mid. And the last one is Cian Asford, who is a striker. And one of our first signings of the rebuild, Vincent Harper, has left us to go to Hercules for 1.6 million. And Tavares has left us after just 1 season to go to Hamburg. And our only signing with money this transfer window ahead of our first Premier League season, it is Jacob Wright, who we signed from Lazio for 18.6 million. So this is the team going into the first season for Harrogate Town in the Premier League. We have some players who have Premier League quality, such as Potts, Wright, Ferrari, maybe Cisse, Olagbe, Forsen as well. And then we have 2 weaker players in terms of rating in Silla, who is 76, and Dornley, who is 76. So I do think it will be a difficult season. I will just take anything as long as we stay above the relegation zone. If we get relegated, it will be a shame. But looking at the squad, I can definitely see that happening. However, as long as we stay, I will be very happy with the season. And how we managed to stay up in the Premier League. Yes, we have finishing 16th place. And yeah, I said as long as we don't get relegated, I will be very happy. We finished with the same points as Man United, so they are poor in this save. Who won the Premier League? Newcastle won the Premier League. The FA Cup was won by Wolves, the Carabao Cup was won by Liverpool, and the Champions League was won by Man City. So as long as we stayed in the league, we also get the Premier League money next season, hopefully, so we can keep on improving the squad. The only couple of players I'm happy with as things stands are Wright, Potts, Ferrari, and also Olagbe. However, Ferrari is 30 and Olagbe is 30, so Potts is 29, so he will get older as well. right can stay here for a 4, 5, 6 years maybe before it starts to go down. The others are starting in the near future. Cisse up to 81 as well, and Griffiths. So I'm happy with Griffiths as well. But yeah, they are clear we need some improvements in the squad. Hopefully the board is backing us. And Ferrari has scored 14 goals. Ashford, 74 rated, has scored 10. Cisse scoring just 8, Forsen 7. Olagbe 5 goals and 6 assists. And Jacob Wright 4 goals and 4 assists. I will get a disappointing 18 million euros in the bank only, and that is not good at all. I was hoping for at least 30 once again. So I don't really know how we can improve the squad. We have to, of course, sell someone, but who should we sell and improve them? I am unsure. I will see what I can do. I'm just getting straight into the signings. The first one, it is a backup left back, Jake Batty, because our current backup left back have submitted a transfer request. We've also brought in a new backup right back in Roman Dixon, and we found another very good free agent. It is Mattis Amogo, who is 82 rated and another good defensive midfielder for our team. Xavier Pelleguciello has gone to Rapid for, I do believe it was 7 million. And this may be a weird sale, but we have sold Jacob Wright already after just one season to West Ham for 34 million. We brought in a new right midfielder, and it is Luis Kumas, who has joined us from Heidenheim for 32.5 million. And we have sold Omari Forsen to Valencia for 30 million euros. Jacques has also left us, and he has joined AC Milan for 20 million euros. Our final piece of business ahead of season number 2 in the Premier League, it is Mamadou Sarr, who has joined us from Freiburg for almost 40 million. So this is the team going into season number 2 in the Premier League. Our new signings, Sarr, 27 years old and 83 rated, and also Kumas, 27 years old, 82 rated, and we also got Amagu on a free. He's also 27 years old and 82 rated. Hopefully we can maybe climb a few places, top 15 maybe we can hope for in the Premier League, but at least not get relegated this season either. Another season done, and the board are not happy with us, and we have finished 16th again, which is really expected. Just a couple of points above the relegation zone, so far from an ideal season, and it's time for us now to climb up the table, because the goal is, of course, to win the Premier League. And if we are continuing in this form, we will never win it, simply as that. The FA Cup, however, was won by Crystal Palace, the Carabao Cup won by Man United, and Champions League won by PSG, beating Torino in the final, which is kind of an unexpected team to see in the Champions League final. The team, a lot of players are still not growing, such as Boat, Cisse, Donley have maybe gone up a couple of ratings, Griffiths also staying at the same rating, so hopefully we can get a little bit more money than, what was it, 16 million? Hopefully at least 25, and then a couple of sales can improve our squad as well. However, it's not looking ideal as of now. Kumas, however, had a solid debut season in Harrogate Town, scoring 14 goals, getting 6 assists. Ferrari, 12 goals, 2 assists. Cisse, 10 goals, and Ashford, 8 goals. And the board has given us 21 million, which is not ideal, but it's more than 16 million at least. And we are going to make 2 big sales from our starting 11 in this transfer window. The first one is Kasim Olagbe, who has gone to Tottenham for 25.7 million. And the second one is one of, if not our highest rated player, it is Andres Ferrari, who has gone to Lazio for 46.4 million. Our new left midfielder, it is Tom Watson, who is signed from Ghent for 30 million euros. And our new striker, it is George Ilenikena from Stuttgart for 38 million. And this is currently how the squad is looking, and we have started to get some players who I do believe will stay here for maybe the entire save, such as Comas, maybe Ilhen Ikena, Watson as well, and maybe Amogo and Sarr. So the team is starting to look good. However, we need to see some growth in those players if they want to be here for the entire save, and we are starting to run out of time. I do say we have maybe 4 or 5 years left until it will be impossible to win the Premier League with current players only, and then we have to start getting those new gens and regens in. But I don't like to sign them unless they are a new gen based video. I do like to keep the players real. So yeah, let's see if we can hopefully start to climb up the table. Top 12 is the goal this season. And that is another season done. And yes, we are at least not in a relegation battle. However, Arsenal were getting just 40 points. We finished 13th, so we are getting closer and closer to the top half. However, we still have a lot to improve. Conceding 66 goals, which is the third most in the league, is not ideal either. So we need to probably take a look at our defense. However, it is so difficult when we don't get the money we need. So yeah, at least Boat is up to 80 rated. I will definitely sell him this summer as he is 32 years old. Løvik also, I will look to sell him very soon. Potts is going to need to be replaced, so yeah, there are a lot of things to do. However, do we have the money for it? We probably do not have that, but let's take a look at the stats. Cisse scored 14 goals, getting 3 assists. Kumas 11 goals, 6 assists. Ilenikena 8 goals and 5 assists. Watson 5 goals, 2 assists. And we have now got 26 million euros from the board, and with a couple of sales I do think we can have a solid summer transfer window. We are now at the stage in the rebuild where it's impossible to find decent squad players, so I have to sign some regens or new gens from free agents in order to have at least some players on the bench. This guy is 78 rated, centre back. A backup right back has also joined the club on a free. A backup central defensive midfielder is also brought in. We've also signed a backup striker on a free. And the last of like 5 new free agent signings, it is Caleb Andrew, who is a left midfielder. All are meant for a backup role. And now we are making sales as well. Fodesilla has gone to Crystal Palace for almost 15 million. We have also sold Oyedele to Watford for 6.5 million. A few more sales is gone and done, and it is Boat who has gone to Chelsea for 18 million, and Cisse has gone to West Ham for 35.4 million. And the last one, Mikaelsson, has gone to Hull City for 5 million. Now let's bring in some new strengths to our starting 11. And we've used all of our money on a centre back, even though it would be nice to sign a striker as well. However, we've signed Luka Vuskovic from AC Milan for 80 million euros. So this is how the team is looking now, and it's starting to get some good players in. However, Ashford up top is just far from ideal, but I wanted to bring in a world-class players as I feel like we have to do that now. We have Sar and Vuskovic, who are both great centre-backs. Donnelly, however, are on the weaker side on the right back, and Ashford up top is just not ideal. So I hope our defense will carry us this season to maybe a top half finish, although I just doubt Ashford will be good enough. However, we got Hansen on the bench, who is just 18 years old and 78 rated, so maybe this new gen will do his job. I am unsure, but yeah, this is at least the starting 11. Another season done here at Harrogate Town, and we have finished 4th place. That is so much better than I expected, and we are now getting closer and closer to the Premier League title. The FA Cup was won by Liverpool, the League Cup won by Newcastle, and the Champions League was won by Barcelona, beating Newcastle on penalties actually. But yeah, we are now starting to look like we are getting closer to the Premier League title. It looks like it wasn't a mistake to go all out for a new centre back in the team by signing Vukovic, and we can see Hansen. I know I said I wanted to keep the players real, however, I needed to sign some regions because we simply didn't have the money, and then it just wouldn't be possible. So Hansen, I do think I will just stick with him because he's got a lot of potential apparently, still just 19 years old. However, most of the rest of the team will be kept real if that is possible. But we can see Vuskovic 88, Sar 85, Griffiths 84. He's 34 years old though, so he doesn't have a lot of years left in him. And Potts as well, 32 years old, so we need to win the league in the next 2 years. I will look to sell Potts and maybe Griffiths, although I'm unsure. At least Løvik and Potts will be sold. Hopefully I can find a new right back as well, and that it will maybe be a new gen. who is a free agent, if that is possible. Same with the DM or goalkeeper. I think I will just have to find some free agents if there are any. If not, then I just hope the board will give us a lot of money for qualifying for the Champions League. And Hansen was our top scorer, scoring 21 goals, Watson 12, Ashford 9, Ilhenikena, however you say that, has disappointed though, 8 goals and just 7 assists, Comas just scoring 4. And this is more like it's 68 million euros to buy some players, and we are going to make some big sales as well. So it's looking like a very good summer is ahead for Harrogate Town. And we are getting just straight into it. We've signed Miles Lewis-Skelly from Bayer Leverkusen in a deal including Løvik and 32 million euros. We have sold Freddy Potts to Fiorentina for 28.5 million. We also sold Joao da Silva to AC Milan for 17 million. And we are now at the stage where we have to sign new gents, and we've signed Jamie Bullock from PSG for 29.4 million. He's a 27-year-old 83 rated right back. And James Dornelli has also left the club. He has gone to Sevilla for 12.7 million. We've also brought in an 83 rated 25-year-old defensive midfielder called Muhammad Ali from Everton. So this is how the team is currently looking. I still don't think it's a Premier League winning squad. However, we have some highly rated players such as Lewis-Skelly, Vuskovic, Sar, Bullock is an improvement, 27 years old, 83 rated, and Ali as well, 25 years old, 83 rated. We have Kumas, who is decent rating. Hansen will probably go, but Watson, Ilhenikena, Amogu, yeah, Griffiths will go down in rating as well, so I still think we are some way away from the Premier League title. And that's another season done at Harrogate Town, and we have finished 8th in the Premier League, so we didn't manage to stay in the top 4, and we didn't even manage to stay in the Europa League or Conference League football. However, we are now a consistent, if you can call it that, getting back-to-back top 8 finishes. So I don't think the league title is too far away. The FA Cup was won by Leicester, the Carabao Cup was won by Fulham, and the Champions League was won by AC Milan. So I don't think we are that many seasons away now from finally winning the Premier League. It's been such a long rebuild, and I know if I am going to do a similar rebuild next time, I will have to sign new gens or regions or whatever at a much earlier stage, simply because the money isn't enough, so I have to focus more on those with potential. But yeah, we can see the team. Griffiths have now gone down 1 rating. Lewis-Skelly has gone up 1, I do believe. Hansen is continuing to grow. And yeah, Vuskovic up to 88. He probably was that rating before this season even started. But let's just take a quick look at the stats. We can see Hansen, our top scorer, 22 goals, 3 assists. Comas, 18 goals, 6 assists. George, I will call him that from now on, 15 goals, 4 assists. Watson, 8 goals, 6 assists. Vuskovic, 6 goals and 1 assist from centre back, which is pretty alright. And Lewis-Skelly getting 7 assists as well. And as we didn't qualify for any European football, it means our budget is pretty horrific, just 35 million. So yeah, that is far from ideal. And we brought in a new number 1. It is Mike Penders, who has joined us from Lazio, including Griffiths and 18 million euros. And as some of our players are going to retire in terms of the bench options, we have to focus on getting some squad depth in. So I have signed Elias Gillett Christiansen. He is now 34 years old, so he won't exactly stay there for long, but he's a backup right back. We've also brought in a new backup centre back in Jensen Roberts. We've also brought in left midfielder Pedro Iglesias. Right midfielder Sebastian Jessen has also joined the club. We've also found a new backup striker called Nadir Ali. And the last one, it is a central defensive midfielder called Angelo Bianco. We have also made a sale in Javi Velasquez, who has gone to Stade Rennes for 15.5 million. We are also having to bring in new left midfielder because we sold Tom Watson to Brighton for 60 million euros. Our new left midfielder is a signing from RB Leipzig called Simon Leon. So this is how the team is looking going into another season in the Premier League, and we haven't really had any upgrades as Penders. Yeah, he was maybe 2 ratings higher than Griffiths. Leon was the same rating as Tony Watson, however he is 8 years younger. So hopefully we can now fight for the Premier League. I am expecting top 4 because we got that a couple of years ago and we haven't really gone down in terms of rating. Hopefully Hansen can show us some magic up top. Vuskovic and Lewis-Skelly can carry the defense. Maybe Kumas can maybe grow another rating up to 88 would be nice. Leon hopefully has some potential. So let's see where we finish in the next season. And that's another season done at Harrogate Town. And we have finally won the Premier League with just 3 points over Newcastle. And that is very, very impressive when we take a look at our form in the last month. Just 2 wins, 2 draws and a loss against all weaker opponents. But we have finally won it with Harrogate Town, and I have taken a lot from this rebuild. I know if I'm gonna do a long term like this next time, I will focus on new gens and regions a lot faster. But yeah, take a look at the squad. We have Hansen 91, Ilen Keina 87, Kumas has gone down to 86, Leon up to 86, Amogu 86, Ali 85, Bullock 84, Sar 86, Vuskovic 89, Lewis Kelly 87 and Penders 86, and we have some decent players on the bench and reserves as well. And I do believe we wouldn't have been close to win it if we had some sort of European football, but as we finished 8th last season, we only had the Premier League to focus on, so our players were always in max fitness, maybe compared to our title rivals. So I do believe that is why we have won the Premier League. If not, I doubt would maybe even finish inside top 4, I'm unsure. But the FA Cup was won by Cardiff, beating Brighton. Bournemouth won the Carabao Cup, and the Champions League was won by Real Madrid or AC Milan. The final is yet to be played. But we can just take a quick look at the stats of the players. We can see Hansson scoring 27 goals, 8 assists. George Ilenkaina, 10 goals, 2 assists. He's been very disappointing in terms of stats. However, he's continuing to grow. Komas 8 goals, 7 assists. Vuskovic 7 goals from centre back. Leon 4 goals, 5 assists. Ali 3 goals. Andrew 3 goals, 1 assist. And apart from that, nothing to note, I do believe. What about Lewis Kelly? 1 goal and 2 assists. And here we also have the trophy parade. And thank you so much for watching this Harrogate Town rebuild. Please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will talk to you guys next time.